Hello, everybody. Swaggy here. New haircut, by the way. Pog. It's a lot different, you know. My hair was super long. I had to get it cut. That's just how it is. Now, today I'm gonna be making I'm gonna explain what the DreamSMP Afterlife is, my theories on it, or my theory on it, and a review of it for people who don't know what the hell's happening, or don't have all the details. So let's start with the basics. So we'll start with death. So death, well, from what Tommy described, was uh his essence being thrown into a blender, or not a blender, but a shredder. And also, he also mentioned that it felt like he was taken apart, put back together, taken apart again, and he felt like he was being stretched. So that's what death felt like. Now, in the afterlife, how he described it was that it was dark, and it felt like a long dark tunnel. No, it was a if he described it as a long dark hallway, completely colorless, voices all like not even voices all around, but just the voices of everybody else who's died in the SMP in the story. That's what else he mentioned. He mentioned he also mentioned a lot about how Wilbur got worse and how time moves faster in the afterlife, because one day was just like a month or two, almost like 2 months. He said that he spent there, and that Schlatt's been very asleep. And that Mexican Dream is in the afterlife along with Schlatt and Wilbur. So yeah. Now that's the basics of what we know about the afterlife, what it looks like, how it feels to die, and who's there. Now let's get into some more juicy details. Uh, another part of the afterlife is that there is a barrier between life, or there's a barrier between the Dream SMP, which is people who are alive, and then there's a then it's between the Dream SMP and the afterlife itself. We know that it can thin a bit, and probably thin enough that that the ghost could start talking to people, dude. Like we saw when Tommy got back his disc from Dream the final time before he was put in prison. We saw Wilbur talking to Tommy, and Wilbur said that the line between the afterlife, or between death and life, started to thin a bit. Mostly because he said he was making room for Tommy. So it looks like the afterlife could you know it looks like the afterlife opens up a bit for when people are about to die. Of course, since Tommy didn't die, it soon after started to thicken up a bit. The line started to get more thicker. It was thin, then it got thick. I have my own theories about that. I mean, mostly it being like it makes space for another soul to be put into it. That's what I think. I think that the afterlife just it can anticipate when people are alive, and when they're dead it can like understand it, and it can open up a bit, open a door, and then when the person is dead, absorb the essence or the soul, and grab and put them in the afterlife. Now, sorry about that. My mom came through. Now, what else? What else do we know? Um, ah, we also know that ghosts can appear. People who are previously dead can come back as ghosts into the SMP. Now, my theory for that is that that the that the line between death and life can open up a bit, only a slight bit. It's not enough so that someone can come back, but it's just enough so that the spirit can go through. Now, of course, the afterlife will take something from the spirit. That's what I believe, and well, that's what that's what Wilbur is. Wilbur, uh, Ghostbur was what came out of the afterlife. it was just it was Wilbur, but all of the bad memories removed, and well, you know, give and the ghost just giving out blue and forgetful, just forgetting the bad things on the server, like his own, not his own death. He remembers his own death, but he forgot losing the election and all that stuff. Now, I'm not sure if this applies differently for other ghosts. It could, but I'm not completely sure. We don't have enough evidence to deduce that. But we do know that when you come back as a ghost, you're very different from when you were alive. Because, well, physically, because Ghostbird was gray instead of, his usual skin color. Mexican Dream was a little bit more faded, and then Schlatt was completely gray and dark gray, maybe even a bit of red here or there. So that's what we know about that part as well. Now, if you're liking the video so far, I would recommend you subscribe and hit the bell, along with maybe hit the like button if you want. Subscribing is free, and you could always unsubscribe later if you don't want to, be a part of here anymore. That's fine. Now, oh yeah, also I'd recommend you hit the bell for the next time I upload, since I don't really upload often. I don't have a daily schedule or a monthly schedule or a weekly schedule. It's more or less when I can and when I feel like it. Mostly because it's my channel, and I sometimes want to upload, sometimes I don't. It's a real thing. Okay, but yeah. So those are my theories on it. Now it could be completely different. It could be just way different. I could be totally wrong, but that's it. That's the point of theorizing. We put our information out there so everybody can see it. It's a thing that we know. Now, every video I see about the Dream SMP and the afterlife, it doesn't include how the line between life and death can thin a bit, or it doesn't describe how somebody changes from a ghost to themselves. Also, from what we heard by Tommy's stream, Uber has gotten a lot worse. Uh, Schlatt has been very asleep, and Mexican Dream has been remarkably the same. Apparently, Wilbur plays solitaire now. Or, well, Wilbur in the Afterlife plays solitaire now. That's something, but that's not important. Now, we know Dream can revive people. So, reviving Tommy. Now, I wonder how that felt. I'm not sure how Tommy described it. Maybe he described it as being put together again, or being put together again into the real world, or something. I don't remember. Maybe it's different. But yeah, from what we saw in the photo of the VOD, it looked like Tommy had like a little swirl appearing around him, like a healing was happening. So that could be something. It could feel like he's being healed, or it could feel like, because we know how it felt like for him to come back through his perspective. It just felt like so Wilbur and Tommy were talking. All of a sudden, Wilbur gets more faded and faded away. Tommy's like, Wilbur, where are you? What's going on? All of a sudden, Tommy wakes up in the real world in the prison. So that's what happened. Now then, so those are my theories about the Dream SMP Afterlife. That there's also the review. I'll go over the basic again if you forgot it. So we know that time goes definitely slower in the afterlife, since one day felt like 1 month. So that's the thing. We also know that that it's a very colorless void, or a very long tunnel that's very dark. We know there's 3 people there: Schlatt, Mexican Dream, and Ghostbur. We also know that the process of being revived it's there on Tommy's stream. It's just Ghostbur fading away, Tommy waking up in the prison. There's some details that are not explained though. that I kind of want to have explained, but only time will tell. Other than that, that's it. Uh, like and subscribe. Hit the bell for the next time I upload. Subscribing is free, by the way. You don't lose anything, no cash, no money, and you can always unsubscribe later. And yeah, oh yeah, and like the video if you enjoyed, by the way, because I know I'm not the very best at explaining. I ramble a lot. I had to scramble my head right now because then I'll get unfocused and I'll start rambling again right now like I'm doing. Anyways, that's it. Bye bye, boys. See you in the next video. I'm not sure when that's gonna be. Probably in a couple days. Gotta do some things. Bye bye.